Hello, and welcome to the 24th episode of the Market Pulse series. My name is Rufas Kamau, Markets Analyst at FX Pesa. So, as you all know, today is Thursday, and the week has been largely quiet. The only major news that we're expecting this week on Friday. Apologies for that. So, the only major news that we're expecting on Friday, that is tomorrow. So we will be expecting to see some good form of volatility happening in the markets, and hopefully this will bring in some good trading opportunities. So the week has been quite technical, and we expect some more technical price patterns to be appearing. So as you can see, nothing much was expected to be happening this week. So today, being Thursday, the 30th of March, remember, tomorrow is when we end the quarter and we enter into the second quarter of the year. So we saw a couple of data announcements with a big surprise coming from Spanish CPI, which was 3.3%, way lower than the previous reading of 6%, meaning that inflation is improving in Spain. But then we need to check on the rest of the Eurozone to get a better idea. So final GDP for the US was up 2.7% in the previous reading. So we expect a similar reading. I think it should be loaded already. Apologies. Yeah, now we have the data here. So previously 2.7%, a slight slowdown to 2.6%, but yet a positive number eliminating or expectations about recession in the US for the next quarter. So unemployment claims came in better than expected at 198 compared to the previous reading of 191, meaning that unemployment may be on the rise again. So final GDP price index was at 3.9%, level with the previous reading. And also the natural gas storage went slightly, improved slightly to negative 47 billion from the previous drop of negative 72 billion in terms of barrels. So tomorrow we'll be focusing on quite a number of things. So right now, as we speak, we know there's a couple of speeches happening, one from FOMC member Kashkari, and the other one from Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen at 10:45 p.m. So tomorrow in the morning, we look at Tokyo core CPI. This will be affecting Japan, the unemployment rate, preliminary industrial production, and also retail sales. It's something that we had already mentioned in the morning session. Then Chinese manufacturing, as well as our services PMI. This will be happening at 4:30 a.m. Then Switzerland retail sales. This will be a good measure of the strength of the Swiss consumer. Then later on, we look at the Eurozone CPI flash estimate. So in the previous reading, the inflation rate was 8.5% in the Eurozone. So we expect that this has a significantly slowed down to about 7.1%. So we will be comparing this number with what we see here. And if there's a vast difference, then we will know how to trade the euro. So we'll also be having a couple of more speeches, one from ECB President Lagarde at 6 p.m. tomorrow, FOMC member Williams, FOMC member Cook, and also FOMC member Waller toward the end of the day tomorrow. So the most interesting data point will be the core PCE price index. And then the main reason that we are focusing on this is because of the Federal Reserve Bank of the US. It considers this data point as a good measure of inflation within the US economy. So in the data mix that it collects from different points in the economy, this has a very strong weighting in Fed monetary policy decisions. So if there's a big change, for instance, the previous reading was an increase of 0.6%, which led to the Fed hiking interest rates by 25 basis points. So if this, let's say, gains by 0.4%, then we'll be looking to make a projection of how the Fed will respond to that, whether they will maintain rates at 5% or whether they will go for another rate hike. So this has the potential to increase volatility in USD pairs, US equity indices, such as the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and also WTI crude oil. So on the charts, Apologies, I have a flu that is affecting my voice and also the way I breathe. So UK 100 or FTSE 100 has been on a good rally since getting to this bottom. So last week made a very early bull market run before putting back down, but this week has been consistently going up, meaning that there's a resumption of confidence in the markets. So remember, I've been majorly focusing on short selling positions on these indices. So with this recovery, it creates a potential opportunity to go short again. So if the bullish momentum continues, then a target might be around 77.03. And once you get to this point, perhaps we'll start looking for short selling opportunities again. So for pound USD, we know what it formed. It was more or less of a cup and a handle kind of formation. So if I help you visualize this, the cup and the handle is something that is more or less like this. And then the market pulls back and then forms the handle. So it's often taken as a continuation pattern. So when the market breaks out, you expect some further momentum upside. So in this case, I expect the pound to continue recovering against the dollar, and that would create out of good buying opportunities for pound USD traders. So also there's that potential that there could be an even bigger cup and a handle. Remember, you have a major resistance here at 1.24460. So if the price completes this U-shaped pattern, then we could be seeing another handle before the market continues higher. So as for New Zealand USD, it seems to be now trading in a triangle. So if you are a fan of triangles, then this will interest you. So from this high here, you can notice the highs are getting lower. And from this low here, the lows are getting higher. So if I was to connect this movement here, then it would be very clear that this market is moving or trading within a triangle. So a triangle is a consolidation zone where the volatility is getting smaller and smaller over time. And traders normally focus on the breakout. So after these swings happening in this market here, you can see the highs are getting lower, the lows are getting higher. At some point, we'll be expecting to see a strong breakout. This could be on the upper side or on the lower side. We don't know yet. So we just have to be patient, wait and see. And once it happens, we'll know how to trade. So Euro USD is one of the things we have waited patiently for it to rally all the way up to resistance. So today we managed to hit the target. Since Monday, we were looking at a potential momentum upwards. Tuesday, we kept going. Yesterday, out of staggering, and then today, the final push towards this resistance. So right now, after the market hit this resistance, we'll be focused on the dollar. If the dollar continues being weak, then we'll be seeing the Euro USD break this level and continue higher. But then, if the dollar starts regaining strength, as we can see on the dollar index, then some form of pullback could be happening here, and we could be seeing prices pushing back down for quite a period of time. So USD CAD is one chart we had been waiting to break 1.36557. So we managed to track this down, and we saw the break happening, and this was on Tuesday. So yesterday we continued pushing down. Today the momentum continues down. And if you are patient enough, then our identified target was all the way down at 1.34407. So after this break, we expect the height of this pattern from this point to this point to be similar to the next leg here after the breakout. So 1.34407 seems like a nice target. So USDN managed to make a good break, but once it got to this resistance, still facing some challenges, unable to break this level here. And it's a very funny situation because both currencies seem to be weak right now. So as I mentioned earlier, we look for another strong currency to pair against the yen. And so far, we identified an opportunity in pound yen. So far, it rallied very well on Monday, on Tuesday, and then Wednesday kept going up. And today being Thursday, you can see we are testing a very major resistance level here. So there's a slight breather for the pair. As you can see, it's pulling back in the last couple of hours, but the idea is to keep going up. So if we break this level, then the next target is the previous high here. And as you can see, this is a price level of around 166. This is 166 point what? Let me check. Yeah, 166.015. So there is a good chance we'll be seeing some further acceleration here with the pound keeping on gaining against the Japanese yen. So if we break this resistance level highlighted in yellow, then the next target is 166.015. So for CAD, it's a similar thing. We had a very nice break and a very nice run yesterday. Today, we kept pushing even higher. So it's almost a V-shaped recovery. And as I mentioned, fundamentally, we are looking at investors pricing in the information that the Bank of Japan will continue keeping rates close to zero, that is at negative 0.1, and at the same time maintaining a yield curve control program. So if they're not able to sustain a high inflation rate, then the bank will keep on printing more money, and that's what we are seeing in the markets. So we expect the Japanese yen to continue losing against these major pairs. So it's the same case also for this is pound yen. We already done this. So I want to check euro yen. So just a minute. Yeah. So for euro yen, you can see has been one of the strongest runners this week. So from Monday through Tuesday, Wednesday, and today, Thursday, we managed to hit a major resistance level. And you can see the profit taking already happening. All those guys who are very bullish on these probably took some profits here, and the price is pulling back down. However, from the forward chart, you can see this is not the entirety of it. So the top resistance level is a little bit higher, and this is around 145.524. So there's still some form of opportunity. If you see some other entry by buyers, then we keep going long. So in the morning, we identified this as the potential entry point after we saw a very strong rejection of lower prices and the market kept going up very well. So if you happen to see something similar, then we can enjoy the next push, especially if the market decides to retest 145.524 price level. So while the Japanese yen is weakening, then the equities are making a good recovery. So as you can see this week, the Nikkei 225 is making a good recovery. Yesterday made a good run, today pulled back and kept going up. So there is a good chance we'll be seeing an inverse relationship between what's happening with the Japanese yen and the Japanese stock market index. So clearly, you can see the bullish channel here. So if it happens to pull back, then trading on the lower trend line might make more sense. So a pullback here will be more interesting because it creates an opportunity to enter into a value play. So next item we have is gold. We mentioned that it has been trading sideways. So this is from around 20th of March. So after getting to this high, market pull back down and then up, down. And now you can see the sequence is a sideways momentum. So the overall direction since this date can be easily agreed as sideways momentum. So with this happening, we mentioned that anything that touches the lower trend line may represent a buying opportunity or an entry opportunity. So when the price pulls back, you want to identify entry of buyers and keep going up. So it happened very well on Tuesday. Yesterday, it wasn't very lively, but today you can see there's some good pressure pushing prices higher. So if you're already in it, then you just have to be a little bit patient and wait for the price to retest this resistance here. So for AUD-USD, this is what we are seeing here. Market is entering some form of consolidation. So let me clear my template here. And now anyone who is watching this chart can easily identify the kind of triangle that is happening in this chart. So from the lower side, this seems to be what we have. So overall direction seems to be sideways, and this is for the last 4 weeks. So we can say that since this point, the market has generally been moving this way, and now it's all about tracking the potential breakout. So from the H1 chart, you can see the swings towards the upper side, the lower side. So I'll be more interested in seeing what the price does once it gets to the trend line, or what it does once it gets to the lower trend line here. So in between, I'm not interested in trading this particular pair. So as for the S&P 500, well, the dollar was weak. It made quite a good rally, almost getting to the previous high. So this seems to be a resistance that the market is seemingly rejecting. So from the 1 hour chart, you can see it was going up very well. But once it got to this level, changed direction. Same case for the Dow. Made a very good run between yesterday and today. But then once it got to this level, started pulling back downwards. So the stock market is not at all that strong. So while we are seeing this trend, then we are still in a bear market. The Fed is still tightening despite providing what we call the BTFP program that is increasing liquidity in the markets, but interest rates are still way too high, and there are very interesting risks that are happening in the US facing the banking sector, and this is resulting from what we call commercial real estate. So there are a lot of loans that are maturing this year. So far, we have seen default rate rising. Up until March, we had about 3 billion defaults happening in the US commercial real estate. So as we go down the road, we get to April, May, June. If there's more defaults happening because of high interest rates, then there's a good chance that the stock market will continue falling. So whereas this is a welcome rally, then positions in the opposite direction might make more sense. So as for Brent oil, we are still waiting on this pattern to play out. So after the inverted head and shoulder pattern, the market struggled here on Tuesday and also on Wednesday. And today was the brightest of the 3 days. So sometimes you get stuck in such positions. You have a really good pattern, but there is no enough fuel in the market to pump a good run. However, from this price action here, it's indicative of a strong entry by buyers. So there is a good chance we'll be seeing price pumping even higher. Awesome. I'm getting some good responses here. Hey, USD, you said it's weakening more. Yes, that has been the story of the day, still for the last couple of hours. Evening, Rodney. Do you have any chat room where you live trade with other traders at the same time? No, I don't. Are we likely to see volatility tomorrow in the markets, considering the fact it's an end month? Yes, I think the most of the volatility will be coming from the news. So PCE price index is a very important data point for the Fed. So I expect a lot of volatility to be coming from that announcement. So pound yen, we analyzed this in the morning. It was really good, awesome. We saw some potential opportunities to go for a buy, but now I'm not so sure. Once we got to the resistance, then the chances for some further upside really dimmed out. So in the morning, this is when we identified this rejection of lower prices, and there was a good rally throughout the day. But now, if you check these resistance points here, I'm not sure whether the market will continue pulling back down or whether it will break. So I'll be more patient now and wait for to see what the price action shows me after this. So for now, I think the opportunity is gone. So anyone who was buying throughout the week probably cashed out here, and now we wait to see what the price does next. So for USD JPY, I mentioned we avoid. Both currencies seem to be weak at the same time. So if I was looking for a good trading opportunity, I prefer pairing a strong currency with a weak one or a weak with a strong one. But if both of them seem to be weak, then it doesn't work well for me. So correlation between USD, yen, and gold. So gold has been acting as a safe haven asset this year. Last year, it was being treated as a risk asset. So when it's a safe haven asset, then whenever there are risks within the US economy, gold has been going up, whereas the dollar has been weakening. And also there has been some positive correlation between gold and the JPY. But now things are changing. People are focusing on what's currently happening in Japan. The policy that the Bank of Japan is adopting is clearly very bearish for the Japanese yen. And that explains why today or this week, we've been seeing the Japanese yen lose a lot against other currencies. So continuation of inflation means gold is going to be bullish. Yes. So whenever there is a high and rising inflation, then commodities tend to go up. So you expect gold, oil prices among other commodities to keep running while the currency loses value. So that's it for today. Thank you very much, guys. And I hope to see you on the next session. So apologies if my voice was not very clear. I'm still dealing with the flu. Hopefully I will have recovered on the next session.